Are you ready to get started to make your Reading Rainbow bookmark? I can't wait to show you how. Your cross-stitch piece will be attached to the felt that's in the kit. Choose the color of thread that matches your felt bookmark and it won't show up so bad. So you have your pattern with the color codes, and then you have your threads in the rainbows and your felt piece, and you have your piece to cross stitch. I made a grid on mine to match the grid on the pattern, and they're in blocks of 10s, and that'll help be a guide as you stitch your books. So you're going to count down to that top line of red. So using the grid, I counted down 4, I believe it's 4, and then the red's gonna start on the third square over, so that'll probably be 2 holes over, and then you get started making your stitches all the way. When I pull my thread up, I like to leave a tail in the back. Feel free to make a knot here. Sometimes that's easiest to keep the thread from popping up through the hole. And then you go kitty corner or diagonal to make your line, your row of stitches. We're gonna go one way, all the way over to the right, and then we cross back over to the left to make our crosses, our stitches. So that's the last stitch. That's 8 stitches going from left to right, and now it's time to cross back over from right to left. And I always double count. I do more than double count when I'm doing my stitches. For some reason I cannot retain the numbers, but thankfully this is a very small pattern, so you shouldn't have any difficulty. After we have crossed back over to the left, then we will work on the spine. So now we're going to go down another row. We're going to start over to the left by 1, and we're just going to make 2 stitches, and we'll repeat that for the spine of the book. This is just, the patterns are just a suggestion. You can make them any way you want. Anything crafty is just a suggestion. So if you do not like the style of these books, you can create them however you prefer. Okay, so the spine's done. It's time to do that very last line of red for the first book. You're going to do it just like you did the other rows. So now it's time for the white. I am going to show you how to fill in the white pages inside the book. That's what the W is for, it's for white. So take 2 threads of white to fill in the whole entire cross stitch. Uses just 2 threads of colors. And just like each row, start at the left, work over to the right, and then cross back. And then repeat for the row right below it. And then you just have 2 rows of white thread for each of the books. I recommend doing each color of the books and then going back and doing all of the whites. But there's no right or wrong way to do this. One book down, and let's move on to the orange. I just want to point out that this pattern, the orange is shifted over to the left by 1. That's optional, like everything is. As you stitch it all over, that means when you get to the right, I don't have it go to the end of where the red ends. I have it stop one block before that because I shifted everything to the left. But it would be great if you made some of these books longer than the other books. I just kept it as simple as possible. Okay, so you've gotten your books done, and now it's time to get this all cleaned up so we can attach it to the felt. If you did pencil on the grid lines, you can erase it now. It should erase easily off of this type of fabric or canvas. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Counted over from the edges of the books so that I have like it framed evenly around it, and you can use the holes as a guide to cut straight to frame the books. I don't think I used any specific number for the top and the bottom. Probably not evenly framed at all. So it looks like I have about 6, maybe 4 that I went up from if you want a number, but you can make it as close to the books as possible. If you have a big gap, you could even, using back stitch or the outline stitch, you could use a word or your name stitched on there. That would look really cool. I started at the bottom or on the right side doing this. I don't know why. It probably doesn't matter, but I did have to take it out a couple times because my columns didn't end. They weren't lined up. So definitely make sure that you line yours up if you want to do a row across to connect to the columns. But if you do a different stitch, that would look really cool. I would love to see that. I would really love it if you would share that with us, and send your completed projects to the reference email. I hope you enjoyed making a rainbow of books. I really enjoyed creating this project for you. Thanks so much for joining us.